most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever because it's true. And I've been that guy.
Woo! Judgment Day has arrived. The Great Resignation strikes yet again. Welcome, I'm Alberto, and I just resigned my position as service director for an automotive group here in Central Florida. Now, I was making over $200,000 plus a year. That high level of income at such a young age, 31 years old. Why would anybody walk away from that? You know, who in their right mind would do that? Well, I'm obviously here to tell you I am not in my right mind. In fact, let me paint you a picture of how I got here.
You're just in this world where you just can't wait to just run away.
It all started when I was 13 years old. I just couldn't get enough. The car obsession began in middle school, and just a few short years later, I began working for a franchise automotive dealership here in Ocala, Florida. Now, fast forward to 2020, I was given the opportunity to work in management.
Which means you are going to be named Boss. Cool. Very cool.
High school dropout, 29 years old, high level income, 6 figures, working in the field that I'm most passionate about. Life should be great. Life should be amazing. Well, that's wrong. I would like to tell you of that one story or event that just pushed me over the edge, that aha moment. Instead, like most people, it's a buildup of many things over a period of time. You know, poor company culture, profits over people, corporate mentality. You know, that's just to name a few. There's so many reasons people are quitting their jobs at such a high rate today. Toxic work culture, the leave for better pay, better scheduling, time with their family, entrepreneurship, you know, better opportunities. One of my ongoing struggles in my life has always been finding purpose. You know, I'm purpose driven. So I'm constantly reevaluating my professional, personal goals, how they align with one another. Couple that with working for corporate America, and I quickly learned that, hey, this is not what I envisioned for my life. I am not one to shy away from hard work, long hours, extreme pressure. In fact, I thrive in that environment. The real issue, you know, became evident when I started to look ahead 10, 15, 20 years. And I realized that, hey, you know what? I'm on a path.
You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation almost every time. The way you can change is you have to put aside enough money to give yourself
So this
a
leads
window.
to my top 5 reasons, life lessons really, of why I walked away from that high-paying position. Reason number 1, if you don't find your purpose, you will be assigned one. You know, all humankind since the dawn of time, they have struggled with this very concept, purpose. What were we put on the spinning ball of dirt to do? Now, sometimes our purpose aligns with our passion, and if it does, great. But sometimes it doesn't. You know, me, I'm fortunate that I believe my passion and my purpose are one and the same. You know, at least that they're aligned. Someone that struggles with being purpose driven, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't show up day in and day out, not be chasing my why. You know, I want to show up to work, want to show up and be passionate about what I was doing and why I was doing it. I told myself that if I was going to put in a tremendous amount of time, energy, passion into a position, it was going to be because I'm building my dream, not someone else's. Reason number 2, family comes first. Work can always replace you. You know, and truthfully, this lesson resonates with a large portion of the working class, especially following the pandemic. You know, setting boundaries ultimately translates to figuring out your priorities. You know, coming from a large Spanish familia and 2 hardworking immigrant parents, I believe that I got to see a great example of what it means to struggle day in and day out for your family and still make time for memories. At the end of the day, your job can find a replacement, but your family will forever be left with a hole without you. I have been blessed with 3 beautiful children and actually 1 on the way. He's due to arrive any day now, actually. So, you know, the freedom and flexibility to be there for my family is of utmost priority. Family time for me, it's a non-negotiable. Quite frankly, I was unwilling to continue trading time for money. Reason number 3, money is only a tool. It will take you wherever you want, but it will not replace you as the driver. Great quote. So if I was only motivated by money, then I would just remain a slave to it, to that chosen currency for a lifetime. I just continue to grind it out, and chase that money. But I realized that as long as I kept chasing money, I would never be able to escape the rat race, as they call it. I learned along the way that money is just simply a tool, and you can be in control of it, not the other way around. So in 2020, kind of right around the same time that I started management, I took this lesson to heart and I ran with it. I began building momentum 2020, 2021, all the way through 2022, where we are. This allowed me to create a plan, stick to the plan, and always deliver. So I chose to stop wasting money on things that just continue to chain me to this position, things that aren't going to help me get to the next level. Instead, I took that wheel and I began driving towards financial freedom. That sounds a little cheesy, but that's the truth. Reason number 4, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's a powerful, powerful quote. And who better to quote than the father of the automotive industry, Henry Ford. Now, you are the ultimate deciding factor when it comes to achieving any task, any goal that you set in your life. And that is true because you know what? The mind is such a powerful, powerful thing. It can create, it can experience, it can invent, and it can even destroy things with just its thoughts. For me, purpose, priorities, financial literacy, all of these things became the foundation for my exit. And if I thought to myself, hey, I can't survive outside of this position, financially, professionally, this is the best I'm gonna do. There's no way. I don't have a degree. I'm a high school dropout. All I can do is just stay in this position and try to climb that ladder. And if I continue telling myself that, then that would be my truth. Instead, you know what? My thoughts told me, no, you're built for so much more than just climbing the corporate ladder. So I took that thought and I ran with it. Reason number 5, life lesson number 5. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. And that's John D. Rockefeller. And after all, sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. Look at the grand scheme. What might seem like a huge sacrifice or even a step backwards now is actually a small bump in the road when you're on your way to a bigger, badder thing. I definitely want to highlight that achieving a leadership position, earning high-level income within a growing organization is a really good thing. It's a really good accomplishment, actually. There are so many leaders in that company that I left and similar organizations that are doing great things. The difference is that for me, my personal and professional goals might not be the same as those leaders, and that's okay. For me, giving up that highly sought after leadership position, the good, is a necessary step in order to achieve the great. These 5 lessons, these 5 reasons why I left, they've always been with me. This is not anything new. This is not groundbreaking concepts, actually. The reality is that most of us actually already know what we really want, what we need to do in our lives. But the biggest thing that's holding us back is fear, the fear of the unknown. Not everybody needs to quit their jobs. The next step might be just going after what you truly want and making a plan to get it. This venture of mine has been a year in the making, and I've constantly had to revise and tweak it to get me where I need to be. Now, these 3 books, very powerful books. The reason that I have them here for me is because I want to highlight them. I want to highlight the 3 books that, changed my life, actually. This first one, you might have already read it, you might have heard of it. If not, let me introduce it to you. Start with Why, Simon Sinek. Great book. It's, how great leaders inspire everyone to take action. Patrick Bet-David, Your Next 5 Moves. This is how I planned. This is how I planned my exit. This is how I planned my next 5 steps, what I wanted to do in my life. And so that's a great book. And last but not least is going to be Michael Gerber's The E-Myth. Now, this is a great book, not just for business owners, but for leaders. That book right there changed my point of view, my way of thinking in business. If there's one lesson, if there's one thing that you can take away from this video, it's this: personal development. You've got to keep investing in yourself, building your knowledge, learning, always be hungry for more knowledge. You have to have that thirst of knowledge, constantly developing, reinventing yourself, self-evaluating.